Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the March 7, 2026 installment of the Focus Up Show. Thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on platforms. Hey, man, get that Tourette's guy out of here. Anyways, catching up with us on replay, and ask that you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy, nice as in the word saint spelled backwards. And today, my co-hosts are Brother Walk, host of Sex Talk with Walk, Thursday at 9 p.m. and also co-star of Street Focus on Sundays at 6 p.m. We got Brother Afro Agnostics, co-star of Objective Deconstruction and star of those Afro Agnostic videos on social media. We got Mr. Student X, star of Mutant Politics and frequent contributor to Objective Deconstruction. That's what's up. And then we got infamous El Pooh, star of Spin That Back. And Spin That Back is on Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. No Spin That Back today. Nothing at 10:30 a.m. So I don't know if this is going to be an overtime situation or just everybody gets an early Saturday. But and then we got the Boss Man, Mr. Boss Man. What's up with you? Co-star of Street Focus on Sundays at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you, Mr. Walk?
Man, I'm chilling. I want to say happy birthday to my beautiful daughter. She's turning 16. Well, she's turning 16. She's turning 16 on the 10th, but we having a birthday party today. It's going down. No drinking for me today. I made her that. Wow. I made her that. Wait, let me think what I made her a promise because the last party I brought one of my ignorant ass cousins, and I didn't put hands on him, but I had to remove him. But my daughter got mad at me, so I said, you know what? Wow. I'm not going to drink today for this party, even though it's going to be out somewhere and they're going to be serving liquor. They're going to have liquor, but I'm not going to drink. I'm going to behave myself, beautiful. Damn.
Brother Apple Agnostic, what's going on with you, sir?
Good. Apologize for my Tourette's, man. It was involuntary.
What's up? Student X, sir. Looking a little blurry, but I'm glad that you're here.
Hey, we can't hear you.
Oh, you're muted, brother. Sorry. You can't. You got to unmute it yourself.
Yo, I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy, bro. I never had these problems before, but I upset some the powers that be last week, and I'm coming right to the Jews. Because the only torpedoes, it's crazy. I saw this post that said that torpedoes must be the only pillows the U.S. governments are willing to fire.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So we in the meantime, U.S. government shooting down defenseless vessels. It's just the low light and where America's standing is in the world right now. It's crazy.
You're talking about that battleship that they shot down that Iran was bringing to fight America. You talking about that?
Yeah, bro. The misinformation is deep, bro. Deep. You know what I mean? Bro. It's I can't wait to talk about the topics we have today and get into it, you guys, brothers. So let's do it.
All right.
That's what's up.
Hey, I just want to zoom in so I can read your subtitle. Charlie was the first casualty of war in Iran. Got you.
Oh my goodness. that needed to be blurry, but what's going on with you, Mr. Mr. Floyd X? What's going on with you?
Me. I'm chilling, man.
It's not the other Floyd X.
I'm chilling. My son, he up here from Southern Cali for the weekend. His birthday was I think it was Monday or Tuesday, so he came up here for his birthday to celebrate with his friends today or whatever. So it's cool. Have my son and all my children in the same area.
No, that's awesome. That is awesome. Infamous El Pooh, what it do, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here once again and blessed once again also. But my schedule is about to get a little unpredictable, so let's just enjoy the time while I got it right now.
Oh, that's what's up. All right. Well, I'm always rooting for great things for you, brother. So that having been said, let's get to the get. The first thing up is Mr. T.I. T.I.'s been doing the interview rounds after his salvo of battle rhymes. And, I got to say that Mr. Floyd, you're pretty right. I've been listening to him. They sound pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's done a very decent job. I definitely was not a fan of what his King did. It sounded kind of garbage to me. What his other son did, the dude with the guitar, yeah, that was dope. Just his whole attack, everything about it, that was like some old school hip hop type stuff.
Yeah.
So
he released the second one called Pusy. It's more virulent. It's more attack mode on them.
Yeah, dudes that's just been raised up by a rich person, probably shouldn't be trying to take that out. Don't try to outstreet 50, you know what I'm saying? It's just, but that having been said, hey, and you know what? 50 did drop a song. He not only dropped the song, he dropped the song that's gonna be the theme song for his upcoming show, and it's got a regular dig. It's dope too. It's dope. So anyway, so that's what's going on. What you got to say about this, Mr. Watt? First, I also want to say this. I respected the hell out of T.I.'s interview with Ebro. I mean, he just seemed like a really grounded dude, and he basically was saying that, look, I wasn't a fan of my kids getting involved, and I really didn't like, King going to where he went. You know what I'm saying? He appreciated his son stepping up for their mom. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he just felt like that was kind of, he wished that they did do that. And it kind of reminds me of the situation when Dr. Doom was having a situation with T'Challa, and they was about to get in it, and Storm got involved. T'Challa was like, yo, you need to stay out of this. This is some man business right here. So, that's my position on that. What you got to say about this, Brother Wall?
No, I'm not muted. It ain't shit to say about it because no one cares about these old niggas trying to battle rap. It's over. No one. I don't care what 50. It got too personal for no reason. 50 is a troll. We know it. T.I. kids got involved. They both trash. King is scary. He said, I said to your face, 50. That mean right there, you scared right then saying shit like that. I'm not interested. Didn't see the interview with Ebro. Don't know. Don't care what happened.
Okay, Apple Agnostics, what you got to say about this?
Yeah, I didn't know it was in the context of the whole, 50 and T.I. conflict, but I did catch parts and pieces of the interview. It was interesting just to see how the old T.I. in comparison to the young T.I., primarily because I'm getting old, so I can relate to that old shit. But, typical Negro nationalism, T.I., man, like Floyd said, he go sound like Huey P. Newton in one sentence and then sound like a pimp in the next sentence, man. But, he's a capitalist at the end of the day. That's his primary motive. You remember Iggy and all that. But it's interesting when you look at Kanye West and then look at him, Kanye West makes him look like a genius. You know what I'm saying? But he's always been charismatic. Now, I look forward to the new album. Now, I know you probably got some songs in there.
Word.
Yeah. Word. Do you got something to say about this, Student X?
Nothing more to add, brothers. You guys covered that real thoroughly.
That's what's up. Mr. Floyd X, I know you got something to say.
Hey, man, I'm a fan of T.I. I love his music, and to me, he is the king of the South as far as the music goes. And he's fighting for that title right now. Step up. If you want to battle him, step up. I love a good battle. I love when somebody up for the challenge. He released a song, released another one. I think he released another one last night, but it wasn't about 50 Cent. It was about his family stuff. So, it's just good music comes from battles. To me, the good music comes from the battles. And his son released that new song called Pusy. He going hard. I wish he wouldn't have, but he should focus on that last song he did. Let that shit marinate some more because that's a good ass song. And he's demonstrating his talent. When people comparing you to J. Cole and to Andre 3000, you stop right there and focus on building that up. Fuck 50 Cent. Build that shit up, and you're going to have a career because you is talented, young man. I'm just saying.
But his mama eating all the box in Atlanta, though.
Yeah, that's one of the things he brought up in an interview that I did catch. One of the reasons they were asking him why he was leaving rap and getting more into comedy, he was saying because rap is egocentric. And that was part of why he wanted to get away from that battling, like competitive nature, and he felt that it was kind of negative. That's how he was kind of characterizing it in the interview. I don't know if y'all caught that.
Yeah, how'd that comedy go? Yeah, infamous
Real quick. The comedy part, like he say, he don't do it because he have to. He said he just fine doing the comedy. He still live in the same house, still drive the same cars. It's like he doing what he like to do. When you got to build up from the bottom, you build up from the bottom. Everybody don't go flaming when they step into comedy, so I respect it.
Mr. Floyd X, we could go do some karaoke right now, and I'm just saying, I could be terrible, I could be having fun. Would I be good or would I be terrible? That's all I'm saying. You know,
it
I'm not talking about, okay, he's starting now. What you got?
And you can't want to fight the audience because they ain't laughing at your jokes. That's what T.I. was doing. Y'all remember that?
That was an edited clip. Y'all. Go ahead, El Pooh.
Only thing I got to say is I respect the fact that he told his sons to kind of lay off for 50 because they ain't got nothing to do. Well, I mean, I understand they got offended by it and everything, but that's T.I.'s battle right there. But I'd rather talk about the new MPC sample that's coming out, the new MPC machine that's coming out. It's supposed to be about $400. I'm more interested.
Yeah,
in
400. 400. Shoot, that's a bargain right there. Oh yeah. So,
can we do a spin that back on that? I'll be interested in that too.
Yeah, for real. We talking. Hey, you know what? We should do a spin that back on old equipment. Like for real. That's a good one. But that having been said, let's pivot. What we got up next? Oh yes, Talarico defeated Jasmine Crockett for the primary to represent the Democrats for the upcoming Senate seat. So and I will say this: Student X was on the show earlier talking about he looks like that he's the more appealing candidate. He probably has a greater chance to win that seat. And if that's the position, and I see a lot of reinforcement on that, I think he's the one that should have won for that purposes. She is without a doubt my favorite politician. I got all the respect for her in the world. But at this point in time, we need to win. We need somebody who's going to be in there and give us, represent our interests at least better than what's haven't been done. So kind of that's my position on it. Let me start off with you, infamous El Pooh. What you got to say about this?
Well, from what I heard there was a lot of racial aspects into this. The polls closed early for her districts and stuff like that. But besides that, I just think she thought she was a shoe-in because this dude just came out of nowhere. She thought she was just a sure win, and she probably didn't put enough effort into it. I really don't know much about it after that, but she'll be all right.
That's what's up. Mr. Floyd X, First Order. What's your take on this?
I don't know why y'all keep saying she thought she was a shoe-in and she just thought she was gonna win. I heard
they hate black women.
I heard Walt say, because she's friends with Michelle Obama. And, man, she was fighting hard for that. I've seen all the ads and that ad that when Trump was speaking. I love that ad, dude. She had an ad, and every day she was coming on social media saying, we still need your dollars. We still need your money. This race ain't over. I respect the fight that she fought to get as far as she did is respectable to me. So salute to Jasmine Crockett, man. And, we're going to get into it later of what's next for her. What do we see happening next? Is she going to run for a mayor or be a governor? We'll find out. But salute to Jasmine Crockett and salute to Talarico. I liked it when I heard him talk. I'm like, oh, this dude, he seems sincere. He played the good politician role. He looks sincere to me. So hopefully he could go on and defeat the Republicans. And then Trump won't get what he's trying to get as far as more seats to win and all that stuff. So I want the Democrats to go all the way and make this lame dick a lame duck.
Brother Walk, you got the floor, sir.
She tried to woo-chow her way into the Senate. It don't work like that, baby. You got to do the work. You got to be that candidate like that. We don't know what she stand on besides Trump. Fuck Trump, and she been caught in so many moments being extra out kind of ghetto for no reason because she's not that person. It was inauthentic. Her whole persona is inauthentic and not believable. We're sorry. Well, how Jay-Z say, we don't believe you. We need more people. That's what they seen straight through her. And when it came time to vote, The white folk and the Hispanics was like, nah, we ain't doing it. And the black folks just didn't show up for it. That's it. They're hiring at McDonald's.
Yeah, there you go. Afro-agnostic, what's your take on this, brother?
I don't know why when we try to explain her loss, why we have to jump to some type of deficiency. Something is wrong with her, something that she didn't do, or some type of divisiveness. Black men or something didn't support her or any of that. I think we need to study both of their campaigns to even make a comparison to see which one had more effort, had more resources, had more funding. There's a lot that can be said for why she lost. And I think the primary reason is that the Democratic Party is still 55 to 60% white. So you have to appeal to a number. Now, as she doesn't appeal, her likeness has a lot to do with her race and her gender. That's just the facts. But, just to speak on the divisiveness, most of the time when a woman candidate runs, people of that race that the woman candidate is from, the men slightly vote more and the women slightly vote more and the men slightly vote less. So that's just a norm. That's the same. So I think she lost just because it's mathematics. Just to sum it up.
That's what's up. Student X.
When you get to Student X, I just want to say that polling situation. Hopefully we'll talk about that. Hopefully Student X will cover it. That was some shiesty shit, but
she conceded it. She's completely behind Talarico now. She's repping the party, but as I understand it, she's still going to sue because of that BS. So Go ahead, you got it.
Her saying that Mexicans are like the new slaves, that had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do why they didn't show up for her. Voted basically against her, but it's nobody. That
was an issue. She didn't say that, but the fact that they may have took it like that, I definitely think that was.
Oh my God! Don't start that nice guy. You know what?
She didn't say that. She's talking about black people. She said black people are not going to do those jobs anymore, and she's talking about so black people are not going to do those jobs. That has nothing to do with Mexican. Y'all going to be slaves. That's just Damn, it's like black people.
And that's not all she said neither. That's not all, because remember, she also said that the reason why Hispanics and Mexicans were voting for Trump was because of a slave mentality. And that cut to the core. They were highly offended, by, having that attributed to them, so, that didn't help her at all. But look, the answer Afro's question Say again. Say it again. Yeah, I know, Afro. The thing is with you, you can't even conceive of why do we look within and be like, okay, what could I have done different to get a different outcome? Because that's just what leaders do. There's not like an athlete, or anyone who competes at a high level, that doesn't, when they get a loss or they don't hit their goals, they don't look within. Because that's what you do. And if she would have done that, she would realize that the intuition of black female, political instincts is not this, this high echelon, because she thought it was a great idea to position her and herself as the boss bee. This attitude, confrontational, loud, neck rolling and all that type of stuff, that did not sit well with the people at all, and then now let's look at the contrast to Talarico, comes out and talks about how love, my faith teaches me that love is the strongest force in the universe. Love is not passive. Sometimes love requires that we stand between the bullies and the bully, look evil in the eye and not blink. So you're talking about just the message. We talked about this, a nice mention earlier, just how he was being positioning himself versus how she did, which again, why you guys keep acting like this commercial was something that we should, all obtain to and look at is to be in the standard. Man, that commercial was dumb as hell. It hurt her. When you look at what he put out, and not to mention the content, that he put out. First of all, again, looking at Talarico's background, Presbyterian, Christian background, so that of course was going to appeal, more to the Latinos as well, having those type of values. By the way, he won the vote 60 to 40%, which is pretty significant. But more importantly than anything, Talarico, no AIPAC money, period. Refusing the campaign, and quite frankly, when I start hearing this man speak on Gaza, in particular, man, he may have won me over as to being damn near one of my, favorite, politicians out there right now. Like this, just following him in this campaign. He's a much more like a likable guy, compared to, it's not sexism. It's not she's being black. You know what I mean? If you just, look at the two and the interaction.
You said likable guy. You didn't say likable person, but go ahead. Still.
Yeah. I said, yeah. He's
person. So, I mean, let me just real quick.
Being
because this whole notion, look. You got the most bellicose. You got the most bellicose, outrageous, verbal tyrant in the office. He gets praised for it. You get a woman who is just a tenth of that. She gets no praise. She gets condemnation for it. It is because of sexism. This whole thing, she's ghetto, she rolls her neck and blah, blah, blah. Everything ghetto is not negative. Everything bourgeois is not good. I like that. That resonates with me, and it resonates with a lot of other black people. Now, I will concede that she lost some because of AIPAC. You know what I'm saying? I know her position on that. And, I support, she's reliable on certain things. I could care less. Talarico, if he's the best person to challenge Trump, then Talarico has it. But, this whole notion that when you're trying to find a cause, none of us have done due diligence to actually find a cause. So why presuppose something being wrong with her or something she didn't do, as opposed to just simple mathematics alone could explain why she lost.
On the podcast here, and we looking at everything on face value, bro. We ain't gonna deep dive into what really happened. We get our opinions. What is this?
What? Let's talk about the polling. If they put roadblocks into you going to the poll, like if they say, okay, you got to drive 10 miles to go to the poll, then you got to stand in line for longer than you would normally let. It's going to hinder a lot of people and be like, you know what? I ain't going to make it. I wish I could make it.
Why would the Democrats sabotage a Democrat?
The Democrats didn't do it.
Democrats.
Okay. So why would the Republicans sabotage the weaker candidate? The obvious weaker candidate, which was they wanted Crockett to run. Did y'all
they're playing the long game because these principles will still be in place when for the next thing for the midterms. So yes, all this stuff that they're doing, the gerrymandering, all of this stuff is playing the long game. So it's not about
you just can't take no L's when you lose. You just straight up lost. That was that.
Walk. You're making good points, brother. You're making good points, but you have to really address it and look at what are they doing, and they're in preparation. The long game is what's being played here, really. But you're making some good points, Walk.
Walk made the best point because
that ad was stupid. Where Donald
I like that ad. I like
that ad was
Go ahead,
straight up.
Go ahead, student next. Go ahead.
Hey, but no, look. But let me explain it to you. You guys don't have to. My screen's all blurry. That they try to stop me, y'all. But look. Well, Walt came out and said and talked about again.
Technology illiteracy. Go ahead.
We talked about the difference between the two, the contrast between the two, and clearly Talarico, is the guy. He's the one that's going to appeal more in the broader election. There were so many reasons why Crockett lost, and there's things that she could have did a lot different that would have increased her odds at winning, because she should have won. She was the favorite. She was a politician that's been doing this the longest, the most. This is a brand new guy, but again, the gentleman, he came through as authentic, not fake, but authentic, and it's something that Kamala Harris struggled with too. So I don't know why, people, the black women are trying to gravitate into like these personas of who they think they should be instead of just coming authentic. You know what I mean? I don't know why that is.
You're presuming that's not what they are.
Well, brother, come on, man, because we know you saw Kamala. Kamala came off as super sister and everything else like that. You know what I mean? But sometimes
hold on. Come on.
You look at her coming out of college and what she
Student X, you down in Kamala, she cooked food in the bathtub, brother. How black you be? Come on. You ain't never washed your collard greens in the bathtub?
I don't see how we can just wipe away that his look of authenticity didn't have anything to do with his white skin.
Inclusive
outreach. Richie Cunningham. He looked like Richie Cunningham. Happy days.
All Crockett did was she was an unapologetic partisan and was an anti-Trump. Was like, I'm going after Trump. That's it. You know what I mean? That's all she did. There was no substance to it at all.
Many Democrats have less substance, though. I mean, that's not neither here nor there as to why. I mean, I think just considering that there are multiple factors.
She lost to a better candidate. Let's just be blunt.
That's
more authentic, resonated with the people.
Sometimes you can lose to a better funded candidate.
But he wasn't. He took no AIPAC money. She had the money.
Let's move forward. Look, let's move forward. Let's just ask the question. Let's just ask this one question. In your opinion, what's next for Jasmine Crockett now that she's not a senator no more?
I have no idea. I'm on.
What do you think? What would be the best route she should take, Mr. Brother Afro?
She's gonna be a lobbyist.
He got a deep dive.
I mean, in terms of making money, I don't know.
Guaranteed.
You could easily do a podcast.
Not making
money. She's not doing. No one was to hear her. You know what I mean? Look, she'll be a lobbyist.
Hold on. He said a podcast. That's Afro's question.
Look, I'll take that bet too. I'm gonna take Walt's $100. Come next year.
Views go up when she was on the Breakfast Club. Got a lot of views.
All right. So what you say, Student X? What's next for Jasmine Crockett?
But like I said, she's gonna be a lobbyist. She'll be behind the scenes. They'll pay her some money. She'll be like a little black political hack. She'll try to sell us on being boss bees, and winning strategies. For the next politics. Black politicians come out. I mean, it's gonna be ridiculous. But like I said, she is one of those people who are paid to be in front of us. You know what I mean? If they take the AIPAC money, you know what I mean, then all the credibility is gone.
I just wonder why that doesn't apply to Talarico too. Because
Talarico's not taking it. He's not taking AIPAC money. That's why.
So the biggest MAGA donor.
Why is it so?
Hey, look, I tell you what. Look, let me tell you. Let me tell you what. Here's why. Let me give you a quote from.
Hold on. Let me just be clear. The Democratic Party is funded by the same donors. So
okay, good. But check this out. This dude, it seems like an outsider to people. Let me give you a quote. 2025 interview. He's talking about the Gaza situation. He says, taking money from AIPAC. I'm not taking money from AIPAC in this campaign. Seeing what's happening in Gaza makes me sick to my stomach as a teacher, as a Christian, as a human being, and our country's role in the slaughter makes me feel complicit in it. I think all Americans should feel that. There was a theologian who said, I screamed at God for the starving children until I realized the starving children was God screaming at me. I think God is screaming at us in Gaza right now, screaming at all of us. I am elected to the U.S. Senate. I'm going to use every bit of diplomatic and financial leverage to end the atrocities. I have already said I'm support banning offensive weapons to Israel. I think we as a country have a moral responsibility to stop the death and destructions. That's Talarico. Your girl Crockett, it doesn't even compare to nothing like that at all.
Hey, that's a show.
Black, you gotta understand.
That was Talarico's words.
That's his words.
Those are good words. Her position that is AIPAC, there are other human crises, human situations going on around the
world. Afro. Come on, dude. We know that the Palestine situation is a dire situation, and we want somebody that's going to fight it. If he say he's going to stand up to that shit, come on, man.
I like how he said it.
Do you think that she was supporting that? You think that she was supporting Iran and all of this stuff? Is that the impression you got of her, Mr. Floyd?
Let me tell you about Crockett. Hold on. Let me tell you about Crockett. When she did that interview with Jason Lee, and he asked her that AIPAC question, and she sat there and swerved around it and was building a framework and saying what's necessary. I said, "Oh, she full of shit." Respectfully, that's what changed it for me with her. I was like, "Oh, she full of shit. She just another politician," and I lost some respect, but I still liked her because she still represented good for Black people. But that shit was some foul shit for me.
I never liked her, and I never thought she represented good for Black people. I thought she's not a dummy, if you will. She's, not that. But like I said, the positions that our sisters have taken with this Democrat Party champion bullshit. You know what I mean? That's what's hurt their credibility. You know what I mean? I wish they come back.
Let's get to El Poo. Let's get to El Poo. He got to answer what's his opinion as far as El Poo. What's next for Jasmine Crockett, in your opinion?
I don't know what's next for her, but she got 10 more months to figure it out because she'll still be in her seat until January of next year. So,
gotcha.
Very important.
So you like that? No, did you answer already, Walk?
I didn't answer.
I
have 3 suggestions. One, Cardi B road manager. 2, bottle girl in the club. And number 3, which I think will be more likely what she do, is host on The View or a talk show or something.
You could do that, yeah.
Hey, yo.
You should have said OnlyFans.
Oh no,
nah.
Just because you turn down IPAC money doesn't mean that you won't vote in favor of Israel in the Congress. And I'm just saying both parties do this. I don't see why one is being given. I understand the AIPAC, that's a certain level, but both parties support Israel. Since
hey, Crockett took the trip. She took the Israel trip. You know, I'm looking at her voting record. You know, Israel. She's never called what's taking place in Gaza, genocide or apartheid. You know, what I mean?
We got to hear nice guy. What's next for Jasmine Crockett?
Okay, before I answer that, I'm gonna say that how would you feel about a white person telling black people how they should conduct themselves and how they should act? I'm assuming that you wouldn't feel too well about that, and I'm just saying that for black men to feel the need to define how black women need to act, just as far as how they carry themselves. I'm not talking about committing crimes. I'm not talking about disrespecting. I'm just talking about the cadence. I'm just talking about basically how you be. That's insulting and ridiculous. That on itself is fundamentally sexist, ridiculous position to take. As far
as how ridiculous that sounds?
Brother, it's my time to speak, brother.
Well, let me get a rebuttal on that point when you're done.
6'5", 230. 220. What I'm trying 220.
Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that the sky's the limit for her. She's an attorney. She took a pay cut to be a public servant. You know what I'm saying? She talked about how the money is crappy. So Walk brings a greater point. She could get into beyond the view or something like that. Afro-agnostic, a podcast, whatever. I mean, look, Candace Owen is doing big things as a podcaster. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she's going to have Candace Owen appeal. I'm just saying there's a lot more money to be made out there in the private sector. But again, like El Poo said, she's still doing what she's doing. She's still going to be in that position. And ultimately, if they fix the gerrymandering, if the Democrats get the power to restore that, there's always the House to return to. So, you know, the sky's the limit. But go ahead. Mr. Student X, you said you want to make a point. It's all yours,
the point was that it's ridiculous to say that men critiquing women, especially when it's coming from a position of love. You know, for example, like, you know, if I, as a man, if I'm giving guidance to my daughter, my wife, and then in this case, you know, black women, you know, whom I love, I got a mother, a grandmother, aunts, sisters, you know what I mean? All black women, you see what I'm saying? And so my thing is that the problem has been in our community is women been listening to too many damn women and they doing some dumb stuff that's getting wrong results. You want me to answer the question? Or why shouldn't women listen to men? First of all, if women are saying, especially black women are saying that their main desire as a collective is to have a black man, you know what I mean? Then maybe you should think about, you know, the black man, what his thoughts and his ideas and his feelings are, you know what I mean, to appeal to him. You know what I mean? You know, if you will, you know, but like I said, you know, in this situation right here, if Jasmine was taking my guidance, girl, man, I take you to a whole new height, girl. Whole new height.
All these years, black women.
Because you're on the wrong path. You listening to these lesbians and all these homosexuals and these Zionists, you know what I mean? And they got you wrong. You know what I mean? They got you going down a path.
You need to go back to the Color Purple days.
You know what I mean? Come talk to your brother.
Really listen.
Come talk to me.
You go back to the Color Purple days where women really listened to men, you know, when they really didn't have a say so Let's go back to the 70s when women had to get permission.
No. Let's go to a hybrid.
No,
let's go to a hybrid. Take the best of the past and then merge what we know to be today is true. And then come up with a hybrid.
Had to get permission from their husbands. Let's go back to the 70s when they couldn't get credit cards in their own names. They couldn't get rent or own a house, buy a house in their own name. Let's go back to those good old days. It's like all this time, black women and women in general, been listening to men. They read the Bible. God is a man. All the prophets are men. All the books are written by men. All the teachers are men. And it's still not enough. You're saying we need to go back to that. Come on, man. They've been doing that since infinity, dude. Wake up. Where do you live, man? I don't understand. I'm lost.
But I'm looking at the results, in the community. I mean, clearly we look at the statistics, which are very poor across the board.
More educated.
What we want. You know what I mean?
More
and so,
educated.
like you said, you're going to make me start preaching like Talarico here in a second because, in the good book it say that people, God can't change the situation till the people change themselves. You know what I mean? That's something you got to do. You know what I mean? So
God can't do something.
It got to be something you got to analyze and say, okay, something is not going, accurately. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that, we got to submit to wisdom, true today. You know what I mean? If it comes from a man, sister, listen to it. You know what I mean? Because who you listening to right now is not, it does not have us, being represented well throughout the world. When they look at black politicians, you know what I mean? You talk about a slave master mentality. That's what the world see right there.
Patriarchal presuppositions. There we go.
Yeah. Hey, those comments were great, by the way. Thank you for those. So is this the time you want to go in?
Hey, salute to all the people that's in the comments. We love the engagement. We appreciate y'all. But if y'all need something delivered or told, call Brea Trucking. He'll get you on this road. See this road behind me? He'll drive on that road, deliver it to wherever you need it to go. East Coast, West Coast, North, South, wherever. He'll deliver it. Brea Trucking. Y'all saw the phone.
Also, and I want to add on there, if you got boxes that you need that in Atlanta, he can move those too. So, yeah.
Boxes. Oh, wow. Nice guy. Wow. This motherfucker. You're muted.
That's what your ass get.
Fucking nice.
Okay, there we go. All right, myself. That's gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey. And if you want to get it in person, go take yourself to the Petty Vice in Venice or the Afro City Marketplace at the Crenshaw Mall. Salute, Sister Nietzsche.
Score Bar and Lounge, a black-owned bar, 7123 Franklin Boulevard. They got good drinks, good food, good music, nice environment, relaxed environment. You could chill and have a good time. Watch basketball games. You could watch the Lakers. They had a 3-peat run, and then they a three-game winning streak. Then they lost to the Nuggets or something. Then they won again last night. So if you're following the Lakers, go watch them at the Score Bar and Lounge.
Focus Up Network. Salute. Membership. Salute. Appreciate you.
Yeah, the Focus Up Network. Subscribe to our Facebook page or our YouTube page. Let me get that banner real quick for you. So you can subscribe to our YouTube page. This really helps us out. Subscribe to the Focus Up Network on YouTube. And We're waiting to be bought by Netflix so they can hire all of us and take us off the regular network. So Netflix, we waited for that big bag, and then also if you're into gaming now, let's get back to
that. Hey, so now next up, we're gonna talk about Ice Barbie getting iced, and I know that for all the dogs that take some type of issue with this sister for her positions and things that she's done. That's what's up. So, anyways, this person, Kristi Noem, she had $200 million ad campaign. I mean, that sounds crazy for what they did. You know what I'm saying? And then basically, money is going to a corporation or a company that just was formed into existence like 8 days before they sent them the check. I mean, there was all type of shady stuff going on. So even Donald Trump was just like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I didn't approve of it, and basically threw her to the wolves. I mean, she's still getting paid. She's gonna do something. He made up some job for her, but at the end of the day,
bullshit Shields. What the hell is that shit? That's some bullshit. Go ahead.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the lady that was talking all that crap, just whatever, and blah blah blah, she's been ousted. So kind of that's where we're at.
Yeah, then let's talk about her replacement. Who's that clown? That clown.
Hey, you put some respect on him. He's a fighter. You see that video about that dude? He was like, "You talking about me fighting?"
Let's take it outside. Shut up, clown.
I don't care about reality.
Go ahead,
Afro. But he was like he was like an MMA guy or something like that. But yeah, go ahead, Afro.
What's your take on this whole Kristi Noem situation?
Oh, Joe. Oh, okay. No, I just think she was the fall guy for their policies in the DHS. I don't think it was
fall person.
Huh?
Fall person.
Yeah, the fall. Not to go against the patriarchy. Yeah, the fall person. Because I don't think it was a single event. I don't just like Jasmine Crockett, her loss. I don't look at it as something that she did wrong in particular. I think she did the bidding of what she was told, and she just simply the fall guy, just to sum it up really quick. But I think a lot of it, why they had to get rid of her, had to do with the controversy around immigration, what happened in Minnesota, which was coming from the administration, not her. But I think she's just, she has to take the fall for their mishaps.
What about that $200 million ad that she said?
I don't know, but there were some other things, other people in his administration that have done the same thing, including him himself. So, I mean,
was in the commercial.
Things that will fall into the area of corruption and waste and fraud. I think they all do it. I'm saying, so again, sexism can show its head on both sides of the aisle, but
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. She was
it's actually older than racism. Maybe that's another story. But I want to say real quick. Somebody made a comment that black people are the only people who don't vote for their own kind or something like that. No, you need to watch my video, Afro Agnostics, the myth of black disunity. Black people have the most political unity of any group by any metric you can think of. This is very well known and established and understood in politics.
That's what's up. Mr. Walk, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't really have much to say about her, but she was running up a tab. And I don't know if that got funneled into her pocket, but it was a lot of frivolous spending going on. And I'm glad that Trump got her. She had to get cut. Now, to say she got thrown under the bus, I don't necessarily believe that to be true. She was in charge of that department, and she is in them commercials, like with the big movie background scene on the horse and that kind of stuff. I thought it was a movie.
Oh man. Yeah. She had like an Avengers Doomsday budget. But go ahead. What you say? What you got to help Pooh, what you got to say about this? I'm gonna save you for last, student.
A song comes to mind. Hall & Oates. She's gone. Oh why? Another devil will replace her. You know what? She's got a new job now. She's going to be in charge of the Golden Dome, I think, or something like that. Another thing is, instead of sleeping with Lewandowski or whoever she was sleeping with, she should Trump. Maybe she'll still be there.
Ouch. Horn. To the next. What you got to say?
Yeah, that's what I was going with. It is that's called the worst kept secret in DC, the extramarital affair with Lewandowski. And it started explaining, why she had unusual access, for her position and whatnot. But again, yes, I agree with Afro more than anything in terms of, she was just a fall guy gal in this case, for the policies being pushed by the administration that have been ineffective and terrible and definitely, are hurting his approval rating.
Ouch. So that's what's up. So that's succinctly tied up. Let's do this next segment. It is a fool and his money. Is Floyd Mayweather Jr. broke? Now, again, not necessarily calling him a fool. It's just a question. We're putting it out there. I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff that seems like kind of a money grab. Ouch. I'll give you the floor for that. But the bottom line is, so he's going to do this exhibition fight with Mike Tyson. He's actually going to do another fight with Pacquiao. So the bottom line is he's suing Showtime for money that he's saying that he didn't get from like way back, and just a lot of stuff. And I will say this: to me, I really saw him as a dude that did big things business wise, making a lot of money, but he may be spending a lot of money, and that's the thing about it. You spend a lot of money, you're no longer bringing a whole lot of money in. Something's got to give. So I'm hoping
that
one
of his baby mamas a $500,000 ring.
Man, that's tough, man. That's
this
tough.
Motherfucker was blowing money fast. He was on his BMF shit, blowing money fast. As fast as he could, he spent it. A Bugatti, buying $1 million Bugatti and buying shit and flying everywhere. And I think the rumor or the whispers of him being broke, from what I heard, what first came from DJ Vlad, who said that his jeweler told him that Floyd is broke. He said he used to buy all this flashy jewelry. Now he's more reserved, and the money is going. It's dwindling. 50 Cent said it years ago. 50 Cent said he about to be broke. And 50 Cent ain't about rap shit no more, but he is a smart businessman, and he could count money and he could see what's happening. Somebody blowing money, so he said he broke, and people is whispering his motherfucker going broke. That's why he want to have a exposition fight with Tyson and whoever, because come on, man, that money goes faster than you bring it in. You're gonna start doing other things, but
Brother
will part. Go ahead, Walt.
Yeah, fooling his money. Yeah, I've never really been a too big fan of Floyd Mayweather. I think he cherry picked a lot of his fights, and he ducked off like when the heat was coming on for him to really fight these guys that was up and coming, like a Terrence Crawford and a few other fighters that was on the precipice of getting close to him. So now the money running out because I haven't heard of any business he got going that's profitable. He got a lot of fighters that's on his promotion label, but none of them are really too good. That's just the truth. Tank was the only one that was doing good, but then they parted ways. So I can see where he is running out of money. But now, I don't think this Mike Tyson exhibition is going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. But now the Pacquiao fight, that is very possible. And Pacquiao game, he just got his ass whipped for like $80. He need the money.
Ain't he the president? Is he not the president no more? But yeah. So what you got to say about this, brother? Afro agnostics.
I mean, we've seen this story time and time again from Joe Louis, over and over, just simply a fool and his money, just a simple, Occam's ruler. But I think a lot of people are kind of disappointed or they can't understand because they think that Floyd Mayweather is this great businessman, that he has this business IQ. He is not. That's Al Heyman. He has nothing to do. Al Heyman is mostly responsible for his success. He decided to leave Bob Arum at some point, and he's just really not. He has very poor spending habits. He bought a $10 million watch. The only person in the world, like billionaires, don't even buy it. He's really the poster child for conspicuous consumption and the whole notion that black people spend excessively. That stereotype. but he embodies that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, he broke. That's why he's doing it.
Mr. Student X, you got something to say about this?
Yeah, no. Look, Afro, summed up, my exact talking points on the situation. Is that the only thing I would add is that it's just crazy how little a guidance, sometimes even when you're given guidance that sometimes the individual would take in regards to his money. Because I know Floyd was being told, man, buying all this Gucci stuff, and remember he was known for when black people were boycotting Gucci for whatever reason, and I forgot what it was, but he was going to the Gucci store spending all type of money, so he just constantly mismanaged, misinvested, and it was real.
Next, I mean to cut you off. You know about his position on Israel, right?
Yep, he took that award. He stood on that stage and said, "I stand with the Jews," or "I stand with Israel." Something he said, "Oh, suck ass nigga."
He donates to AIPAC.
Yeah, there you have it. There you have it.
And to the Zionists, all types. Yeah, he's plugged in really with Israel a lot.
Yeah, there you have it.
Infamous El Poo.
When was the last time you seen somebody like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, or any of these ultra rich white people walking around with a stack of cash? You don't see that.
They don't got that Floyd Mayweather. They not counting money at the game, El Poo. They not at the course side counting millions of dollars.
They're counting at the bank account. That's what they do. They dress humbly. They just all this stuff. You want to talk about how black women be acting, how some of these rich black men be acting, just be on some super ghetto shit. You can be rich and you can take the person out the ghetto, but can't take the ghetto out of the person sometimes. So, that be an issue as well. So, that's what's up.
That's the problem.
Let's highlight let's talk about the war. Let's update what's going on.
All right, student next. Go ahead. Let's give your update.
I mean, what y'all want to talk about? There's so many different plays we could go with it.
Will America win? Will America and Israel win this war?
They've already lost.
Ooh, speak on it, brother.
Yeah, they've already lost. So the military objective, despite what they're saying publicly now, was a regime change. Okay, so killing the Ayatollah, which I mean, look, man, I mean, he as a Star Wars fan, man, he went out like a G. It was crazy because when you look in our community, I'm seeing a lot of people post videos of saying, "Oh man, Trump is gangster." You know what I mean? How he's rolling, he's gangster, and they had like this admiration and this respect for him. But I mean, when I saw how the Ayatollah came, Ayatollah was like, "Look, man," he calculated that he would be worth and stronger more in his death than alive. Didn't run, didn't hide, had his family with him, and then the way he got killed, being that this happened during Ramadan, this lined up exactly, as one of the I can't think of the name of the gentleman right now, but in Islam, history, one of those that came before that's highly respected. He fell in the same light, his death. So right now, keeping that in mind, as Ramadan, we hadn't even saw the most fierce fighting even happen yet. It's going to happen, after. And right now, what's getting crazy is that, Trump, he is just, digging in deeper. It looks like he's activated the 82nd Airborne. So it looks like that he wants to send in some ground troops, into Iran. And that is a terrible mistake. There are going to be, so many deaths that result in those troops, being, completely, defeated and annihilated, in this type of situation. Because this is not, again, some of these other places that America has been before, So, and then, keep in mind too, the American public is in shock. But now I think they're going to rebound, come this upcoming weeks. Is that the Marine, that was there protesting, saying, no one wants to fight this war for Israel. And y'all saw that, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's reverberating throughout the community because not only was he a former Marine, he's a firefighter too. You know what I mean? And so this dude, all American, they're doing something. They have something going on right now talking about he has a Muslim wife. I don't know if it's true or not true. I think it's irrelevant. But the bottom line is that, this thing is about to get worse because, America and Israel are going to be running out of, missiles, the interceptor missiles, as well as, some of these, some of their offensive missiles as well, and so, and when I say, go ahead.
One last point before we move on, I want to ask you to address your subtitle.
Charlie was the first casualty of the war on Iran.
Charlie who?
Yeah. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Charlie Murphy.
You talking to the audience. You talking to the audience, man. You got to say what you be specific. Uncle Charlie.
No, we're not talking about Uncle Charlie. This Charlie right here has, now it's crazy. He's, how you got people out there that you can just say like one name, and who you talking about?
Charlie
you
Kirk.
Say Tiger. You say Tiger. You know what I mean? Who you talking about? You get like if you say Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, explain it, brother. Why is he the first casualty?
So look, Charlie, right? Charlie, he went down because of his position against this Iran war, against Israel, and against the Zionist, a neocon direction that clearly was trying to push Trump in a certain direction. Charlie was the one that was holding him back from going into these directions, some say, and I think it's clear that Charlie got assassinated because of that.
So you agree? I don't want to drag it on too long, but Candace Owens put it out there that they had a show on the Charlie Kirk's Turning Point show. They had a show where his friends were saying he was against Israel's doing and stuff like that, but behind the scenes he would have eventually been like, well, I trust Donald Trump and Trump is doing the right thing. So they said that he would have supported Trump in this Iran war right now.
Yeah. And look, and were it not for Candace Owens, they may have gotten away with being able to make that claim. But because of the investigative journalist that she is, and that what she's put to the table has been completely, annihilated, that particular type of claim. She also came out and said that, look, do not join or remain United States military. Trump has betrayed America and expects you to die for Israel. There's no honor in being led by dishonorable men to your death. And she's taking heed for that, man. Look, man, salute to Candace Owens.
That's a great point. But she also is saying that Charlie Kirk's wife was a man. I don't know how they had children, but hey.
I haven't heard that. But now, in terms of being the worst widow ever, you know what I mean? And then now, like, the direction is going. I mean, we're all starting to wonder, did she have something to do with this man's death? You know what I mean? Candace ain't said that, but, honestly, she looked like she was a honeypot, that she was a Mossad agent planted, in Charlie's life, married them the whole 9 yards. And then, ultimately, when he went the wrong way, disposed of him. That's what it's looking like. But it's like better than any movie that, people didn't see.
We'll have to discuss that on the future show.
Hey, so basically, she's a honeypot like Melania was a honeypot for Epstein. But anyway, you got something to say about this Afro-agnostics?
Yeah, just a little bit of what he said on the Candace Owens, great trans investigator. Yeah, she's great journalist. She talks to dead people, all that. Okay, so theater, that's not journalism. But,
you want to address her points, but you'll throw the slander out.
Let me just speak on what he said. His military assessment, I do agree with. I believe General Arthur said, something to the effect that the white man can never win a ground war in Asia. We've already kind of known that. I think outside of Japan and a few other slightly interpreted victories, they don't win anything in Asia if they have to fight a ground war because it's too protracted, it's too long. They don't have, at some point you're going to have to start issuing the draft. Young white males from certain tax brackets are going to have to go. They're not with that. So, but as far as the piece on, I just say that was an interesting conspiratorial narrative, but things that are presented without evidence, can just be simply dismissed without evidence. I think this whole notion of, there's like an anti-Semitism analysis of the Iran situation. In Iran, all you have to do is really follow the money. Israel was not the largest recipient of U.S. aid in the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1960s. Not until the 1970s did they become the largest recipient, because at that time, with the OPEC situation, the commercial trade had quadrupled. So it's no coincidence that Israel got more money, because you need to create instability in the Middle East in order to, minimize or reduce Arab unity. A lot of people don't know almost 50% of all Arab countries were at one time part or had the same party, the Ba'athist Party. So, Israel is there it's kind of like the Hungary or the Czechoslovakia of the Soviet Union. It's there, put in place for the United States to use. But not understanding that, I think it leads to solutions that don't solve. We don't see the problem correctly.
Infamous El Poo, what you got to say about this?
I got a lot to say about this.
There we go.
This is what you call the Roach Motel of wars. Easy to get into, hard to get out of. Russia is giving intel to Iran. He probably got this intel from Trump himself. Price of oil and natural gas is going through the roof. These people are having friendly fire and shooting down F-16 jets. They're bombing drones of jets in Iran. They bombed the elementary school and killed like 165 little girls. Trump wants to say into who becomes the next supreme leader. I mean, where do you get that from? This is not Venezuela. Now Iran is attacking the GCC countries, like Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, whatever you want to call it, Saudi Arabia. And
Baton Rouge.
Sorry. And Israel actually bombing Lebanon too. I mean, it's a calamity going on right here, and it's costing about $1 billion a day. Talk about, I don't know what to say, but Trump has no exit strategy. I don't think they ever had a plan. They don't have a plan, and it's going to be a big old mess.
Hey, great analysis, brother. Great analysis. Let me tell you, put El Poo, man. Look, he the mutant politics dude. Let me tell you, man, that was great. How you broke that down. Because that's what it is. The only thing I would add is that you guys were asking before. Okay, well, why is this dominating the topic? Why is this important? And again, people don't realize that we are on our way to a nuclear exchange, between nations, if not the world. That's the direction that we're going in right now. And we are, this is not fear mongering. By the end of this, by come Monday, right now, keep in mind that the way the media and everyone's been, spinning things is that Iran is lost. Trump is picking their next supreme leader, and all this. But then the thing is that, as the myths are getting shattered, because Russia and China are both helping Iran. China just recently put out the photos showing all those military bases in those countries that the brother El Poo just mentioned. How they're obliterated. They're completely unusable. So any type of troops that come into theater, they have to either be parachuted, or they have to, be sent from some other country, and they're going to have to come in a long way. So
let me ask you, what political party and what media sources you think are presenting the image that the U.S. this is going to be easy military domination?
No, say that again now.
What political party and then what media forces are presenting the idea that this is going to be U.S. domination?
He said media sources.
Media sources.
Yeah,
party and media sources.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear that from the Republican political party, Trump's party, that is where the pro-war anthem is coming from. I'm looking at people like Jason Crow, who actually takes AIPAC money, that was in that meeting we were talking about in our chat, throughout the week. He was in one of those meetings, and he came out and was just saying, just straight up that, hey, we're not being given, any sort of clear understanding, no end game here, that this is a war of choice. That the classified intelligence, there's no justification for these strikes. So from the Democrat side, you're definitely seeing people lean more that way, although it's not every Democrat, of course, but if that's what you're asking, but again,
I think too, just I'm saying the perception that, so you have low intensity warfare and then high intensity warfare. So they just turned it up a notch. But let's be clear, the United States has been continuously at war with Iran since 1979, since the Ayatollah took power. So, I mean, at different times, they have pivoted in order to, again, create instability in the Middle East. They favored Iran one time in the, what's that before, after the Iran-Iraqi war. That was in the 80s, right? But what I'm saying is that they just turned it up a notch. So some people agree or disagree to turn it up to this level, but they've been in continuous war.
I think we're getting into semantics. We're really at war right now. The different little acts and whatnot that have taken place and whatnot. You could call that. I'm just showing the unity. But now we're engaged in an active exchange to where no one has ever, like Israel has never taken this damage. Like it's taken right now. There's American bases, and America has never been challenged like this in its history. Like I said, every base in the Middle East is wiped the fuck out, including residential areas where different CIA outposts were and Mossad outposts were. They were all hit. Now what the Iranian Republic Guard is saying, they're saying that, look, we're done pretty much hitting these other targets in these other countries. We're going to solely more focus on Israel, and we're done with all our old munitions and our old inventory. Now we're going to go ahead and let the new stuff rip. And so like coming out of this weekend, when it becomes clear to the American public that this is, Iran is not going to stand down, and Israel's, existence is being threatened, Israel, chances are, is going to bring a nuclear, weapon into play, if not America. When and if that happens, then now that depends on how the rest of the world, deals with that. I believe that Iran should have long ago gotten a nuclear weapon, because in terms of their religious, perspective, they were, to me, they're the safest government, among the safest governments in the world that have possession of authority, because they didn't want it. They were like, look, man, we don't want this. They're
saying that the reports are saying that the Ayatollah was the one that stopped Iran from having nuclear weapons for the last 40 years.
Yeah, he did. They didn't even want it. You see what I'm saying? So now he's gone, and guarantee you, whoever's coming in to replace him is going to be in my mindset. We got to get it. You know what I mean? Because we got to hold these cats off and whatnot. And guess what? North Korea didn't offer it to them. Russia and China doesn't want them to have it. No one really wants another nuclear, country out there. There are plenty of countries that could turn in that direction if they wanted to, such as Japan and whatnot, but have not. But in this case, if Iran wants to protect itself and not keep getting attacked again and again and again with no provocation, it has no choice but to acquire this. And so now that becomes another provocation to say, okay, now they're going to get the nuclear weapon because we're forcing them to get it. So now we got to preemptively do something to keep them from getting it. But the bottom line becomes a nuclear weapon becomes into play. And Russia.
Yeah.
My last point is that China gets something like, I want to say 80+% of their oil from Iran. You see what I'm saying? So they can't just let Iran get wiped out. You know what I mean? And Russia, if people are detecting nuclear, missiles in the air, who's not to say that others are not going to send it? So but this is serious. America can't win this war. They want to get out, can't get out. So now they're trying to make it worse. And now they want to really commit America to it, because once U.S. soldiers really start, the troops start coming home dead and the multitudes in the American public. Pretty much.
Iran said, if y'all bringing ground troops, bring them. We ready for it. They said we ready for anything they bring it. We have prepared for this for like 20 years. They say they've been preparing for this and they ready for it. It's not
There's going to be losses.
Why have they been preparing for it? I think that's the big lesson, man. Like,
because America been posturing for the longest, right?
Them since the 50s. They're the reason why there's an Ayatollah. Ayatollah is not a friend of the people, but you have to align behind Ayatollah against the
What are you talking about, bro?
It's
Ayatollah has mainstream support, you know what I mean, and known for the people, you know, is support for the people. The only people that don't support the Ayatollah, you know, again, are like the homosexuals and gays, you know, and people that, you know, want to bring Western values into this country, you know what I mean, and want that Israeli money.
Jews.
They want all that, you know what I mean? So if you want all that, you know what I mean, you know, then, you know, you're not with the Ayatollah, you know, but in terms of peace and then lifting Iran up, you know, to a level to where the partnerships they had with China and Russia and where they were standing at, you know, economically, you know, with the Golden Road Initiative and everything that they have going on, but Iran was thriving. This right, Iran didn't want war. You know what I mean?
You would be a great apologist for the Ayatollah, but the Ayatollah is a dictator, man, a theological dictator. It's a theocracy. There's no way where you have power decisions, who decides where who.
I mean, to talk to someone that's uneducated about the Iranian system is like, you know, I might as well talk to Iraq. You know what I mean? It's a hybrid system. It's nothing like what you're describing at all. You know what I mean? It's not, no model is perfect. In terms of the people being happy.
Go ahead, man. I'll come next.
Yeah. In terms of the people being happy, again, over 80% of the population, you know, is happy, you know, with the rulership and leadership of the Ayatollah, and then not just him, but then the government that's been put in place. It's called the Islamic Republic, you know, not dictatorship. You know what I mean? So it's not what you know.
I'll let you flow and let me respond back, because I see, you know, you had that urge to protect your boy, the Ayatollah, but it is a hybrid, as you said. It's a mixture of church and state, where the state has, the church has the final decision-making power, and that's problematic. There are opposition forces in Iran that are opposed to that. They've been trying to rebel and pass reform. There are people in the Shia party, the Shia group. You know, by the way, the government is 98% men, 98% or almost 100% Shia Muslim. You know what I'm saying? But you have other populations in Iran that are not even Muslim, or that are Muslim and not even Shia. You have women population that are almost equal the number of men. Why are they not represented in the government? The reason why is because it's a
who the hell cares? You know what I mean? That's their government. That's them. What's that have to do with you're taking the whole dialogue.
Let him finish his point.
To the next.
Yeah, you got to say your say. Let him finish his point, brother.
I just asked a question.
Yeah, but
they police the media. You don't have the First Amendment. I mean, what we call the freedom of speech. I'll just say the freedom of speech. You don't have these things. They have political prisoners there. And these are from opposition groups. They're in prison. They've people who protest, they've gunned them down. These are facts. You know, I think we fail to see complexity here. It's like good guys and bad guys. That's not always the case. Like, again, you had a socialist government in Mogadishu in 1951 that was socialist and secular. That would be a government that I would more be in alignment that was for the people, not a theocratic dictatorship.
Yeah, again, you know, the people there is what matters, not what you care about. And then when you're dealing in these countries like this that have these threats like they do with Israel, you know, that's there. And then people sending agents, Mossads in there that are willing to, you know, do terrorist acts for political means and whatnot. You know, you have to rule that society in a different way. You can't run it like you're running it right here inside of America, where open and free and all that type of stuff you're talking about. So it's like comparing
apples. How do you know? What do you
not even the same ball game, bro. You know what I mean? You know, you're not in the real world. Like I said, your points that you bring up have nothing to do with the fact that this is not good for America. You know, for America to be attacking this country that there's no threat to us, no imminent threat in particular. You know what I mean? Why the hell are we bringing this war? You know what I mean? That's what it's about. But you bring up all these other points. You sound like a designer. I see you say up with anti, you know, what do you say? Up with anti-Zion, brother, you know. You need the mathematical equations back in the background again. Bro, you're not making sense. What do your points matter? What are you saying?
What point does
you're saying all that to say what?
Can you make one statement that doesn't make sense? Did I say it? I'm saying, so again, this goes back to the 1950s. It's just important to keep that in mind. You have low intensity warfare that culminates into this bigger war situation now. But the issue, again, the people independently on their own elected their own socialist, secular government that the CIA, the US government, overthrew that government in a coup, put in the Shah of Iran, which was a right-wing government. That was more like a Republican, a republic. That was a more of a hybrid mixture of the theology.
That sounds stupid as hell. Outside power installs the leader for you.
Wait. You don't think that's happened?
Well, you know that's wrong, bro. You can't select nobody for a whole different country.
Wait. Are you saying that? You saying that the United States hasn't toppled dictators and basically? What happened with the situation with?
Are you asking what I'm saying?
No, Afro said that's a better selection, right?
It's not. He didn't say it's a better selection. He didn't say it was a better. He said
under the Shah that was more republic and more representative.
I said our analysis of the situation, and then ultimately our solution is going to be determined by how we see the origin of the problem. And I'm just saying this war of attrition goes back to the 1950s when they overthrew a socialist secular government in Iran and they installed a religious government, the Shah of Iran, but then the extreme religious right responded to them and actually overthrew them. And that was 1979 with the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah, those are extreme right-wing religious folks who won power. But what created them was when you disappeared or you suppressed the socialist secular government, the left. Then when you it's kind of like if you have good bacteria, bad bacteria, when the good bacteria decreases, the bad bacteria, that population increases. So that's what you see in Iran today. Two things can be right. That government is oppressive, but the U.S. imperialism is also oppressive. So just like in the Chinese Revolution,
who's arguing that? You know what I mean? I'm not
arguing. You guys just said it was
Iran and live there. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm arguing. I'm saying that people in Iran, they are mostly happy with their government. They're happy with their government. You know what I mean? So I mean that's it. That's all right there. They're definitely not asking for the United States to come bomb their country, blow it all up. You know what I mean? And then the people are happy.
What sample did you conclude? 90 million people.
Hold on. We can't possibly speak on what the majority of those people think. Let's not even try to
Yes, we can, bro. No, they tell us. We're not saying we're not in 1950 with Afro. We're in 2026. You know what I mean? A March.
And Student X, unless every single person is voting and telling us what they're saying.
No, I disagree with how you can determine that.
Let him finish the point.
Student X. You can't possibly know what the entire population is thinking unless the entire population. Stop. You're saying the majority. I know the entire. We can't possibly know that. You started cutting me off. You started cutting me off when I'm making an unshakable, objective observation. You cannot know what everybody has to say unless you intake what everybody says. So I'm saying that we don't. So therefore, I'm just saying that let's not even play that game about what the majority is thinking, whatever. Because all you're doing is going on reporting that may not be the truth. So I'm just saying that, so again, and that goes on his side. That goes on his side. That goes on your side.
I'll tell you what I'm going on.
You're doing it. You aren't boots on the ground. You're not boots on the ground. You're going by reporting. You're going by reporting. You're not going by boots on the ground. You're going by information.
But I'm going by, one of the sources would be actually what the Iranian government, is putting out themselves.
What about what the United States government puts out?
Let's wrap this one up. Let's wrap this one up. Let's wrap it up.
Before we go, let's talk about since we have those interruptions. Let's talk about BAFTA. Let's talk about that incident.
Let's go to BAFTA.
Okay.
Let's go to BAFTA.
So I don't know if we still have the video of the incident up there. Or they
I
probably
got it set up. We're gonna play the clip, and this is where they the dude, the Tourette syndrome dude, holler out the N-word.
Spoiler alert. All right, so it's coming.
To celebrate. Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to celebrate.
He hollered out the N-word. He hollered out the N-word.
You didn't want to play it?
All right.
It was beeped. It was beeped. It played. It was beeped. But the bottom line is that, again, when black people got on the stage, he said that derogatory term. When somebody else got on the stage, he picked out a derogatory term for that people. You know what I'm saying? They edited out the one that was like, I guess, the gay slur or something like that.
No. He said free Palestine.
Oh, that's the one that they edited out.
It out. But when it's a 2 hour, it was a 2 hour delay for it to come. They could have edited it out. We didn't have to hear that Caucasian dude said the N-word.
I didn't know that's the angle we was hitting at because I didn't know that dynamic. Because I was like, dude, wait a minute, this dude has a legitimate diagnosed handicap and he says something. Are we really mad at this guy? I thought that was the angle y'all were coming at.
Let me tell you why we mad at the BAFTA particularly, because I got a video right here 2 months before the BAFTA award. This is an interview that he did.
The big question this morning, why did these outbursts remain on the broadcast when other parts of the event were cut, like the words of one award winner who said free Palestine?
Oh, my bad. That's the wrong clip. The other clip I had, I didn't upload it. But he said in an interview, I have this Tourette syndrome. This is 2 months before the BAFTA award. He said, I have this Tourette, and sometimes I say the N-word, and some people take it as disrespectful, and he said it. I have Tourette, and I blurt the word out sometimes, N-word. He said that. And they then, after the BAFTA, he was pissed off. He said, why did they sit me so close to the mic? I got all this from The Daily Show. I watched The Daily Show.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Garbage.
The funny thing is he only blurts out that word when he sees black people.
Yeah, probably. But is that a reality? I mean, we could call him racist or whatever, but the reality is it's a real sickness. Do we all agree that it's a real thing?
Well, for no doubt about it. But conspiracy brother, come through again. I didn't know nothing about this, but my whole thing was I felt like this was some sort of humiliation ritual. The Epstein humiliation ritual. The Epstein class is known for different little things. You'll see it in hazing, with college sororities and fraternities and things of that nature. So that's what I thought was going. But now that you're giving me more of the background that they could have edited it out, which would make a lot of sense. And then why have him by this microphone? You know what I mean? So someone else wanted to send a message. You know what I mean? And it seems like the award show itself has some sort of culpability in that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like to me. Someone trying to be slick is what it looks like to me. You know what I'm saying? Why else are you going to put the Tourette, nigga spewing, dude in the front row by the microphone at the award where the two black dudes, and especially like Lindo, he been doing award forever. And he finally going to get his first one, finally. You know what I'm saying? And you got the Tourette, nigga, dude, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's a CON conspiracy. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Again, I'm not saying that this isn't a real problem, but I would say yes. Why were you even there? Why were you definitely near the mic? Whatever, this was basically something that was, that was easily avoidable. You're talking about editing out. I'm not talking about editing. If you got a problem where you just basically yell out "nigga," you should not be inviting him on no shows where no black people are speaking. You definitely wouldn't be on the Focus Up show. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm just saying that to me, I think that's all BS. And again, I also suspect that, you know, if he said, because, you know, again, if I got this wrong, I got this wrong. To my understanding, he blurted out some other derogatory thing. And my point is that if this something happens when you see black people or when you see whatever, this sounds like alcohol, where alcohol is like a truth serum. I understand it makes you act out of your way or something like that, whatever, but it's basically still, you know, drawn from somewhere. So my point is that I'm not trying to say that Tourette isn't a real problem, but I think it might be a window to, you know, something that really be happening in this dude's head. And again, allowing that situation to even happen, for him to even be there, I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. I take it.
Let's not get the victim blaming, bro. You know, because the thing is that, I mean, hell, when that disease is like, it cuts off, like, you know, it's not like cutting off a filter. It's just that in general, you have all different type of thoughts going on, you know, collectively, you know, and then you just, sometimes some of those thoughts just get blurred out, you know, in situations, you know what I mean? You know, so, you know, I be wanting to cut y'all out sometimes, you know what I mean? But I have to catch myself. Do
you believe in taking like a baby to a movie theater?
No, that's what I'm saying. You know, but like I said, going back to the point is, why are the bitch ass niggas in Hollywood not, you know what I mean, calling out the award show, you know what I mean? And
the black people are going, the black people are going thermonuclear on this.
Okay, they're doing that.
No, trust me. There's all types of articles.
Okay, well, let's see what the respect will come, how they really respond. Because if you just run them out the mouth, if it's not backed by no type of action at all, then you just run them out the mouth. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't heard a single black person give that dude with a genuine sickness a pass. I haven't come across one. I'm not saying they're not out there. I have not come across one person going, oh, but he had to, like, black people like, oh, fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you saying black people is mad that the Tourette?
No, black people unitedly, as Afro-agnostic, we are united people.
But they're not mad at the BAFTA people?
Yeah. What they need to do is they need to boycott BAFTA. That's what they need.
Very mad.
No, but I'm saying that
they're very mad.
Student
X, yes, you're correct. Student X, yes, very upset about that.
Hey, is Afro frozen? Is Afro there?
I'm here. I
thought he was frozen.
No, I knew he was waiting to dive in. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to hear what he got to say. You know, but
I tried to pass it to him, and he didn't say anything. So that's why I just kept going. But what is your take? Go ahead.
My bad.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. So man, I'm not qualified to diagnose, Tourette's. I know there's a range. It's in the DSM. I think it's a neurological disorder. So you can see the symptoms, the range, and all the data and stuff they collect on it. But even if it is involuntary, we do know that. The dynamics, I don't know. But, it's like a thing of intention and versus harm. I can shoot you by accident or I can do it deliberately. Either way, you've still been shot and there's a wound. So where is the formal apology from BAFTA? I don't know if they've issued one. We're real big to jump on people and persons for personal responsibility, but there's institutional responsibility here. Why was this, as you mentioned, why was this collectively kept in? I think they mentioned that he said nigger 4 times, but why are we hearing this from someone who worked at BAFTA rather than BAFTA itself? So they could have maybe, lost track of one nigger. I don't know, but they got the other 3 and left one in there. But anyway, they need to pay up. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to give to BLM or something. You should have financed Jasmine Crawford's campaign, something. You got to give up some money. That's at the end of the day, you got to give up some money because that's what the Jews do. When you say some anti-Semitic shit, next thing you know, oh, we support APEC and we support Israel. So,
and speaking of which, who run and control that BAFTA organization? What's that about? You know what I mean? Like,
I was about to press the button. I thought you knew something. Okay, so I'm pulling back on the button.
Let me say one thing though. Let me give props to those 2 gentlemen that was up at the podium for keeping it professional when that did happen. Because I probably would have said something like, "Shut up, cracker." I would.
That is true. That's what's up. Yeah, they did keep their poise.
Nah, it don't work
Not
for
just
white people the
them.
same as
Not
us
just
though,
them.
because
Not-
they're
not-
not triggered by slurs and stuff like that at all. You know
Oh,
what I
what
mean?
are you talking about? I just all type of videos on YouTube. People get beat up for saying that. I mean, come on now. Not to
what?
mention you talking about man. You talking about wait? I thought you were talking about the black people. Not
No, I'm saying that white people, you can't call white people a so-called slur name and have them get offended like how we get offended.
Yeah, because it don't
Nowhere
make sense.
near the same.
Calling somebody a cracker is not the same thing as calling
they're
somebody
not even. They be
Like,
laughing.
they call themselves crackers first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Crackers
Black people call themselves.
You know what I'm
they
saying?
call themselves niggers first. We adapted it, but we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't initiate that.
I hear what you're saying. But so I don't know. Is that going to wrap it up, or is that the wrap it up symbol? Okay,
That's
so
it.
all right.
That's it, my niggas.
Hey, thank you for paying it for watching. Thank you for commenting. The comments have been great. Subscribe, and Mr. Floyd X, you do need to put something out there so we take your contributions at APEC. We take some APEC, my name.
I don't know when